Okie dokie, now we are in for a little bit of a treat now as I invite and introduce another special guest onto my segment. So, welcome to my show now here in the UK with the radio show and the podcasts. I have now the quintessential Qymira joining me today. How are you today, and where are you zooming in from?
Hi, Danny. Thank you, first of all, for having me on your show. I'm very, very excited to be here. I just landed actually back in London from Dublin. We were out there for four shows for the Irish tour, the Irish leg of the Boyzlife tour.
Amazing.
Um, yeah, that was just really, really amazing.
And we'll come to that. We'll talk to about your forthcoming supporting the Boys Life on tour shortly. But I just wanted to ask you my first question. There's so much to talk about, but I'll do my best to put everything, into the one interview for you. I wanted to ask you first, where did your journey into like the music entertainment world begin? Like, for example, how long would you say you've been composing, writing, and performing music on the whole?
Um, so my journey has been quite in a way, a unique path, because I started doing playing piano and violin when I was, I guess, around 3 years old, because my mom was a piano teacher. And because I've got a lot of brothers and sisters, so I just followed their footsteps. So I suppose from then, I've always been around music. I just never thought that the road will take me down singing because it was mainly instruments like piano and violin. But because I was here for my secondary education, so I joined the orchestra when I was in boarding school here. And then, of course, when you do GCSEs and A levels music, you have to write, you have to compose. And I found that I actually didn't know that it's a bit abnormal to have music in your head all the time. I thought everybody would have almost like a score in your head every day when you go out, to the supermarket or do something, walk your dog or something. You always have some sort of music, like you're scoring your life. So one day when I was doing some sort of composing, but it was for a school, assignment, my friend said to me, I think I've heard that before. And I said, you can't possibly have, because I just did it this morning and it's not a pop song. It's for an orchestra. So actually that sparked everything off for writing. And so then my teacher and everything in school said, no, actually you should really keep this up. If this is what's in your head, then write everything down. So I carry from then on always score paper with me. So I can score when I go along. It's almost like a little score of life every day. And the pop side didn't come in until, because I did solo singing on a soprano, actually on the other side, so it's classical music. And the pop side came in, I think, when in my late teens. Um, Only because I was covering for somebody. I was playing violin for that person that was sick in the Coliseum of Hong Kong. And somebody here in your beautiful country who was in the music industry, his name is Ferdy Morris. His friends saw me in Hong Kong doing that. And so he approached me when I was in the university and basically said, why don't you do something? And then all the pop side started, coming in. Opportunities came that way. And I'm a bit, in a way, adventurous and restless. So, it all went that way. And now everything come back kind of in a full circle with the orchestra again, but in, what I do, which is pop or urban, sometimes R&B. Yeah.
Yeah, that's smashing and that's super. So it seems like you've had quite a long, extensive musical path to get to where you are today. And
Yes.
you started off like as a multi-instrumentalist, and then did singing just kind of fell hand in hand, come together.
Yes. Yes, it has come together, very smoothly. And in a way now it's almost kind of like a signature, of what I do. Because I write on the piano first and then the violin sometimes come in, and the lyrics and everything just, bring you on a journey to a different place. So more like storytelling.
Yeah. And Qymira, that's a unique name because having been like doing English at GCSE. Not many words have a Y after the Q, so you got your own thing going on there.
Yes, actually, I was just thinking out of the box in a way because I just thought I used to use my real name, which is Leslie. And in the end, I thought, sometimes you have to rebrand, you have to, come out with something that instantly people will, in a way, if for example, Chimera is actually the beast from the Greek legends and the Greek mythology, stories of the beast of, with the lion, the snake, and the goat. And because of what I do, I thought it's the simplest way actually to explain what I do is just basically different parts of me. And I feel like actually that's everyone because we are never one thing. We're always multiple things in one person. So I thought, okay, maybe I'll use Chimera. And then Chimera, the beast, I didn't want to use directly that words. And I wanted, because I'm fascinated by history and all that. So I decided, you know what, why not play with a little bit, the how you spell it. And pyramids, obviously from ancient Egypt and everything, it chimera of QY and the PY of pyramid, it's kind of evokes emotions from the past and got this ancient mystery to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the reason why I chose chimera.
It's good to have a bit of an enigma with one's identity.
Yeah, just as at the end of the day, we're in entertainment industry,
Yeah.
so it's kind of like imagination most of the time.
100%. And you mentioned being a singer, predominantly, you've done that all your life. Have you had like any other occupations like in your life where you thought this wasn't for me? It's always been about the music.
Yes, well, being brought up in a Chinese family, like in or most Asian families, um, it can be very traditional in the sense, like in my family, my dad expected me to go on and do, for example, banking or be a doctor or lawyer or accountant and all of that. And being the youngest of a lot of siblings, I felt like I didn't really have a say. I had to follow other people's footsteps a lot. But I knew that music was something that was just in my heart.
Mm.
My mum was a piano teacher. So she said to me very cleverly, she said, you want to do music, do you? Okay, this is how you need to do it. You have to finish your economics degree and then tell your dad that you're going to do music, then it will be fine.
Mm.
So I did actually push it a little bit more and I went into banking and even tried, because I did study law. And so went into law firms and everything. And I felt that, yes, I enjoyed it, but it's not my passion. And I felt that it would be a waste of not just my time or energy, but I feel like I could never excel in something that I'm not passionate about. So that's why I decided to take the opportunities, which kept coming from the music side.
Mm.
And the rest is history.
Yeah.
But yes, I did try those, and yeah, no, music is and more like imaginary creative works where
Yeah.
I am.
Would you say it always runs in the family as well? It's always good to have that network and just a bit of support backing from your friends and your family as well.
Yes, yeah, they were very wise, and I suppose it's very known also to be a struggling artist
Mm.
because that's even actually that's the norm most of the time. It's very very tough in this industry, but I just feel that sometimes you just have to make a bold move and stick to it and just
Mm.
believe that everything is going to fall in place.
Yeah.
So I've been very fortunate.
That's good. And sometimes it's good to study like, economics because it does go hand in hand with music business as well.
Yeah, exactly, because it's showbiz at the end of the
Yes,
day.
that's right.
What's the demand, what can you supply and all that.
Sure. And one of the reasons I invited you on my show today is you're plug promoting one of your latest singles that we're going to touch on now. It's kind of like a dancing number called The Labyrinth of Life. I
Yes.
listened to it and it feels like an instant classic, high energy dance floor,
Oh,
and
thank
also
you.
has had a rainforest remix from Eddie
Yeah.
Craig. What
Yes.
magic did you feel he brought to like this reversion, this like new version?
A lot of magic because when you write your own songs, you obviously go through your own journey and you put your own instrumentation, the feel that you want, and when I first created Labyrinth of Life, it was from almost like a darker place. And so, I had the orchestrations, as in with the orchestra. It was done by a 60-piece orchestra. And then it's got piano. And then, I had some jungle sounds, like, from the soundscape, basically. But with Eddie Craig, the collaboration there took the entire track to a different side, and basically expanding the music and the feel of the music to a different genre, because obviously it now goes into the club world. And then when I heard it, it also lifts it to a different way, in a different way, where people will now feel, instead of going on a journey inwardly, it's now, okay, let's dance, we're going to get up and dance. So it's actually very interesting how remixes can do wonders for certain tracks, even when you intend it for it to be a very cinematic kind of storytelling piece.
So where Eddie Craig kind of just gave it just a little bit of a new lease of life.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, it's been amazing working with him.
Nice. And who featured on the rap part? I think on the middle section of the song, there's another artist come in who does like his thing. Who was that?
Yes, it's Davian. So how that came about was Labyrinth of Life was written actually a few years ago, and I had another mix that was done with the rap part done by a Brazilian artist, and his name is Duende Primero in Brazil, in Salvador. But when we decided to release this in this country, obviously Portuguese, it would be a bit difficult, for people to understand. So we invited this rapper here in this country, to join us. And he did a wonderful job, with the British rap. And he wrote the lyrics in the rap part for this particular dance mix.
Yeah, beautiful. Have you ever sung in Portuguese? It's quite a beautiful language.
Yes, I didn't think I was ever going to, but because I was working there on other projects, I decided to try, and I've been also very lucky. Released three songs, some all in Portuguese. I rapped in Portuguese, and it's actually a beautiful language to sing in.
Nice. And just throwing it back to Labyrinth of Life, what does this song paint a picture for the listener of?
So it depends on the mix that you listen to, whether it's dance or the original mix, by the way, which is the orchestral mix, with that's going to come out in a couple of weeks. I think it will evoke emotions of, you have to go on a journey of your own to know that you don't have to put on any disguise. You just need to basically be yourself, be true to yourself, and go through life together. And because of the different instrumentations, whether it's the strings or whether it's the beats, and or the soundscape, it creates that labyrinth of sound where you almost walk into, and you feel like you're being bounced off of different things. But in the end, it's actually a very coherent picture that can create harmony
Hmm.
together. And that's what Labyrinth of Life is.
And labyrinth, when you think of labyrinth, you think of mazes and wildernesses. So
Yes.
in that song, could there be like a situation where one can see an opening, then a closing, and then the light at the end of it?
Yes, because we actually feel that a lot of the times we need to be very strong, even though when we're lost. And in Labyrinth of Life, from the lyrics to the music, it leads you down a path where it's actually almost mesmerizing you. And in life, I feel that there are actually many signs that we're ignoring in a way. And sometimes for those of us that read into signs, we see, oh, how come it's 111, or why are these numbers always recurring, and why is that repeating, and why do I feel comfortable with this person or that room? There is something going on in life that we sometimes ignore, when actually it creates a whole tapestry when you put all the signs together. So in the song, the lyrics talk about, there are codes, you just need to follow each
Hmm.
symbol and sign. So yeah, I hope that the listener or the viewers of the video later on, it's going to be able to be taken on a journey where it's more like self-discovery.
Mm.
And they will feel how they want according to their own history and stories.
Because a lot of I know most of us have that sixth sense, the extra ESP, but we don't. A lot of people don't use it to advantage.
That's right. Yeah, we don't follow our guts half as much. We think that, a lot of the times, it's so clear in front of us, but we don't listen to it because either we think it's not logical, but that's the brain talking, it's not our hearts talking.
Sure thing. And I believe there's an official music video to accompany this single release of Labyrinth of
Yeah.
Life to drop anytime soon. How was that
Yes.
experience making the video, putting it together, storyboarding it and so on?
Oh my goodness. That alone was the highlight of last year. Because or in November, because the music video, what everyone will see, which will be coming out, in about a couple of weeks, is actually a trailer for a feature film, and a multiverse of Labyrinth of Life. So in the making of it, I spent actually a very long time crafting, different civilizations, in life, to actually lead the viewers down a journey where sometimes you have deja vu, or how come I feel like I've been here before? Why is this happening to me? And all of that, but all in a very vivid storytelling setting. And so obviously making it, actually, it took us 6 days, six sets, 6 days, and 4 civilizations. So it's actually a very intense and involved and epic production that I really cannot wait to share with everyone.
Well, my listeners and myself will look forward to viewing that in a good time. And
Thank
one of the testimonials I've read about you was you stand shoulder to shoulder with the works of Beyonce and Alicia Keys, yet it's Qymira's unique fusion of Asian influences and female vocals that set it apart. That was from Rap Star New. How does it feel to receive positive comments regarding your music?
Well, I was speechless, very, very speechless, because to have that comment or that feedback is almost beyond a dream, because obviously I didn't write anything to think, okay, I'm going to compete with whoever it is. I just wrote from the heart. But when people either listen to the lyrics or the music, said that, oh, shoulder to shoulder with, like, Beyonce and all that, it's such an honor to be put in the same league, because of what they have done. And I very much admire and appreciate their works. So I think that, and also it came from Rap Star. So, for me, because I did, well, when I write rap, I don't intend to be a rapper, as in, so I'm not like, Eminem or, Cardi B, or, somebody that's, that their career is known to be a rapper. For me, it's just my storytelling style of, sometimes you don't have to use music. Maybe sometimes you just want to talk. You just want to tell your story in no melody.
Mm.
It's, and if you're aggressive with the topic because you're passionate about it, then you're going to come across that way.
Yeah.
So I didn't expect the feedback to be this way, but it was very encouraging for me to, and I feel, okay, you know what, I'll do more of that. And just goes to show that for me, I just need to stick to what's my own personal storytelling
Mm.
style.
It's interesting that because when you vocalize a song, kind of doing the extra add-on to like speaking, like say
Yeah.
poetry, it actually it's quite nice how people can do that. It's not necessarily rapping, it's just adding your own spin on things.
Yes, because when we're talking, we pay different attention to when you're paying attention to a melody of something. Some people listen to a song, they remember the melody and not the lyrics. Some people remember lyrics and not the melody. So when you have melody and lyrics together, you don't know how what people are really listening to or remembering or taking away what message that you want to convey. But when you're just being very, in a way, naked, talking with nothing, no distractions, it's just plain you communicating very clearly what you want in a passionate way. I was hoping that basically people will listen up. And so it's not so much in your face rapping style that's aggressive, but it's just because I'm passionate about the topic.
It's very interesting to touch on that subject, like the mechanics of writing songs, um, and the Labyrinth of Life and the Labyrinth of Life Rainforest remix is out now on all good streaming platforms.
Yes, yes. You can hear it on all digital platforms, and then the original orchestral mix will also be out with the video in a couple of weeks.
And just a few more extra questions I wanted to ask you. Going back slightly to a time, you released a track called Boom Boom Bang. Is that
Boom,
right?
bang.
And yeah, was that a pivotal moment in your career?
I wouldn't say that was a pivotal moment, because before that there was a track called Satisfied. For me, that's more of a pivotal moment, because again, I didn't expect it to do well. It was just something that, oh yeah, okay, let's try. And then I was on holiday in Hong Kong, and when I was contacted to say that that particular track went to number one on the Breakers chart here, and then it went on to do very well, and it sparked off the whole tour. Boom Bang Bang was actually the second song, the following song that came with the Satisfied package. That then it went on to Europe, to be played in some of the MTV and things like that at the time. And so I would say the two of them came for me as a pivotal moment to tell me that, you know what, give it a try, give it a shot,
Yeah.
because people, if they like whatever sound, melody, lyrics it is that you write, then why not? So that was pivotal.
I wanted to also ask about a track called The Sun and Sea. Has a kind of reggaeton Spanish summertime vibe for it. Was that the sound you're trying to capture for your audience on that one?
So that was my Brazil time. So along with Sun and Sea, there are actually three songs that go together in the Brazil release that I'm very happy to say that all of them were, again, because I was doing other projects, and we thought, why not release something over there? And I collaborated with other artists over there. So at first it was going to be just them singing in Portuguese, me in English. But then, as they thought, actually, you pick up Portuguese pretty well. Why don't you try? And I thought, okay, let's do it. And all three songs went to number one on the radio charts over there. So Sun and Sea, Vem Comigo, and Perdão, all three of them have in a way, a specific sound that is very much for the Brazilian audience. And of course, because I was singing in Portuguese as well and rapping as well, so that's the style that has a little bit of that in Wait for No One, which for me is like the crossover, bringing everything back to the UK. So you will find that in different songs there are different influences based on wherever I am at the time.
Sure. That nicely brings up onto my next question. Wait for No One, which you enjoyed considerable chart success with that one. I describe it as a mid-tempo pop ballad. Was the recording process of this track and collaborating with other like-minded artists of an experience? Like you also had a Rough Loaders remix of that as well.
Yes, yeah. Again, Rough Loaders brought it to a very different feel, because of the piano that I did for the original Wait for No One. It has this very Latin style to it. And because I was performing, I remember when I wrote it, well, Wait for No One wasn't written during the carnival period, but I was performing in the carnival in Salvador, Bahia at that time. When I thought, okay, you know what? Why don't we release something that has that spirit? Wait for No One and all that. But the lyrics and everything were written when I was in Los Angeles, when I was living there. So when Wait for No One, the original mix was done, and then we decided to do a remix to it. Rough Lotus came on board and took it on a different level, on a club feel. But then, because everybody, and myself included, a lot of the remixes can go a different way, where the artists feel like, oh, but they have stripped down the voice, they have stripped down this and that to fit into more of a club feel. But in my case, I've been very fortunate that I've just been collaborating with remixers and producers that understood or appreciated the essence of either the voice or the instrumentation. So they kept a lot of it in there, but just mixed in with their flavors as well. So that track went on to do very well on the German charts and the UK charts. So, again, for me, I've just been very fortunate working with, amazing people.
That's good to hear. And I bet we've talked on, a bit about your previous catalogue and your new release as well. Better touch on your forthcoming tour where you're supporting Boyzlife. They're a tour. They're a duo. They're on tour. They're one half of uh, Boyzone and then Westlife, hence
Life.
Boyzlife. Yeah, I think is
Yeah.
it Brian? Brian McFadden, isn't it? He's in one half
Yes.
of Boyzlife. What are you most looking forward to being on tour here in the UK?
I think it's just to share my songs, sound, stories to a live audience, because nothing beats a live audience. We've done 4 shows only. And so that means there are 14 dates to go, 14 more dates to go. But I have to say, what's amazing is that it doesn't matter what goes on. Things have gone wrong because that's just life, right? Like, for example, my headset mic broke and snapped in the middle of the show. But because you have a direct connection with the audience, so they could see that it was happening to me, right, like instantly, and I could share the stories even deeper to, for example, explain, like yesterday, sorry guys, my headset just broke, I have to have the handheld mic, but you know what, this is the labyrinth of life.
Hmm.
We're in, and you talk about exactly what's happening to you to a live audience that they can relate to, because they see it unfold in front of you. So that's what I'm looking forward to. It's the live feedback, and also being in the environment with other artists, amazing artists like Boyzlife. And of course, people are coming to see them. But I really would love for them to go away, connect with my songs and stories, and sing along to my songs in the end.
Great. So this could really open doors for more gigs and shows and tours for later on in the year and beyond.
Yes, yes, that's also what it's about. It's just, getting out there and sharing as much as you can. And then those who are, in a way, your audience, that like your sound, like your stories, can connect with it. You know, it's amazing to have that feedback. I had audience coming up to me after the show to say that, we really enjoyed your violin, or really enjoyed your dancing and all that. So it also gives you a direction of what people like as well.
Great. Just wrapping up now. I know you've well travelled. You've managed to see the world. Has there been any career highlights? Do you have a favourite place that has been meant so much to close to your heart at all?
Actually, if I don't talk about work, as in just plain traveling, Italy, for me, is a fascinating country because of the architecture and the spirit of the people, and of course food. But if you're talking about taking work in the mix, because work is taking me to all these places, then I have to say that the UK for me has always been a place where I feel like I've come home. Maybe because, I was indeed brought up here for many years, but it's also the diverse culture, and, and the very vibrant music scene. So I feel like a buzz every time coming back here. Of course, okay, the weather is something that I still have to get used to, but it's a place that I feel very at home and feel very, creative in. And other places, well, Hong Kong, it's because I'm still very much linked to Hong Kong. So different places offer me, in a way, a different escape. And no one place so far has got everything because, of course, like even though I love the UK, the weather is not the tropics. So I'm very fortunate in the sense that I just pick, whatever I feel. Yeah.
Nice,
Would
nice to hear. Nice to hear.
Yeah.
Thanks for answering that question. And do you have like a signature theme song, that defines your life? If you could pick like just one song, like say in the music charts, what song would define Chimera as a whole?
You mean other artists,
Yeah,
as
other
in?
artists, or it could be your own song as well.
No, no. Do you know? For me, I don't know why, but I keep going back to Madonna. I think it's because I very much admire her as an artist, as a performer, the way that she thinks out of the box. So from um, yeah, actually, a lot of the Madonna songs, um, are defining for me. Um, and Bon Jovi as well, for some reason. I have actually met many different artists that bring back, conjure up memories or pictures of life where it's maybe because I was going through certain things at the time. Evanescence is another one. So bring me back to life from Evanescence. Some U2 tracks. The Course is another one. So I'm a little bit eclectic. I don't have a single artist that I keep going back to, but a lot of these artists actually bring back different things and define, um, not influence my sound, but they bring me back to a different place.
Good answer. And finally, where's best for people to follow you on, your official website or social media links?
Yeah, so if you want to follow my stories, then the best way is to follow at Qymira Official on Instagram. To listen to the music, it'll be Qymira on any of the digital platforms like, Spotify, Apple Music, and all of that. I'm also on Facebook just because I work in the Philippines a lot, and people out there use Facebook a lot. But I have heard that out here, maybe not so much. Um, and let's see, yes, and the website is chimera.com. So, yeah, various different ways to follow.
That's marvelous. And just for the benefit of my audio listeners, Qymira, spelled Qymira.
Yes, that's right, Danny. Thank you so
Great.
much for
Great
saying
speaking
that.
with you today, Qymira. And all for me to do now is play your new latest release, The Labyrinth of Life Rainforest Remix.
Thank you so much, Danny. I hope everyone will enjoy that.
Thank you very much for your contribution on today's show and have an awesome week.
Thank you, and you too.
Nice to
Thanks.
meet you.